and Saturday it was raining and windy and
Yeah.
nothing showed up. Um, so fingers crossed the weather will cooperate this year. We've already got quite a number of boats on the books um, that are going to be coming in. Some staying, some just for the day. But we're already kind of
Cool.
getting things lined up for that. And then of course Pirates Weekend and then Memorial Weekend. So all right, well we'll run over. Let's go over to the letter B, which is the harbor sales for March 2024. You look on there, you'll notice that all those numbers are going up. So diesel sales 14,500, gas 17,360 for a total of 31,935. You know, I sales are picking up $143 and $9 in 10-pound bags, 152. Um, but of course, you know, those numbers will start going up as well. All right, we'll move to C, which is the slip report.
If, go back,
Okay.
if you would please, to your harbor expensive revenue,
Okay.
October, September. And I'm just catching up here. You've got some TRF harbor to GF, TRF harbor to HB, those big numbers there. On the right side, on the 16th of April.
Oh,
Pay-
you, okay, all right, you're looking
payroll.
at the
We
spread.
ain't got
the-
that far down yet.
Oh, I thought he'd moved on, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, I'll wait. Sorry to get ahead
That's
of
why I
you.
was confused. I was going back to the whole pages.
Okay,
We'll get there.
all right. That's not the report you were on?
No, sir,
No,
the slips, the slip report.
Well, now he's on slip report, yeah.
Okay. Fuel sales, got you. Okay.
Yep, we just finished up letter B. We're on C now, which is the slip report. The 2-page spreadsheet. Everybody got that?
Yeah. We got April numbers in. They look pretty fantastic. I said it's
Well, I'm a little disappointed.
40-foot slips. And
We dropped down below 90%. We're at 89% now. We've had a few cancellations. We're still 100% occupied on 65-foot slips. The 60-foot slip, wait a minute. We do have one, a slip 1-1. But that shouldn't be there much longer. I'm waiting on the gentleman who's got the right boat to go in that slip. You know, that's that odd-shaped triangular slip that's right next to the seawall. You can't really put a 60-foot boat in there because there's no way to maneuver a 60-foot boat into that slip. So I've got a gentleman with a 40 who is going to take that slip.
Oh, that's the first slip?
That's
across from
1-1, the very first one. When you walk through the tower, it's right there in the corner. That's kind of shaped like
Mhm.
this.
Like a triangle.
Right. And you really can't there's no way to maneuver a 60-foot boat into that slip. So it's really more like a 40-foot slip. I can get a 40 or 45 and below, but getting a boat your size
Yeah,
in
you
that
prob-
slip,
It's good if there's no wind. If there's a wind blowing, then you might have a problem. you know.
right? Yep. Which the way the seawall is angled like that, there's not a whole lot of room out there for error.
Yeah.
If you're trying to maneuver a bigger boat in there.
Mhm.
50-foot slips, we're still 100% full. 45 slips, I do have a couple available of those. I probably will get the paperwork on those two, hopefully by the end of the week. I've spoken with a couple of gentlemen that are supposed to get me the paperwork on those, so those probably won't be open for very long. 40-foot slips, most of those are again out there on the backside of 5. I think there's one that's on dock 3 that's available. Again, that shouldn't be around very long. 35-foot slips, I've got a few available of those. Again, there's 2 people I've already called. So we should be back above 90% for next month's meeting.
Can I put something in there with the new one that I put in on the 25-foot slips on Pier 5? We're
Yes.
up to 180
Okay,
now.
all right. So that one didn't make it on here.
It didn't make it on.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I just got it today.
Right. Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's a little overlap, and
Sure.
I think we've actually got 2 slip agreements down there in the harbor office drawer right now that have got to go up to Julie for tomorrow morning. That I think one was a 35, so
Yeah.
you know we're filling them. All right. Unless there's any questions with that one, we will
No.
now move down to Mr. Ross' report that he wants to see. The expense and revenue are October, and really the only thing on here that we need to discuss is the 3 lines there on, that, Chris pointed out below the 416 numbers. The transfer harbor to general fund,
Ah,
$73,000. That's for payroll. And unfortunately, sometimes those numbers don't hit our reports until 2 or 3 payrolls have been made, and so instead of it being, you know, $19,000 or $20,000, it triples up and it's all at one time. Well, that's out of our control. The next line down, transfer harbor to the harbor capital and maintenance. We did make a installment payment on that loan to the tune of $45,000. So that had to come out. And then the transfer harbor to harbor capital and maintenance, $75,000. I do not know at this point what that was specifically for. I have an inquiry in to Sissy and Dana. Dana's not in her office today, and Sissy's been out all week. So I'm waiting on a reply to that. What I would like to do is, once I get the specific details on what that number is for, I will send all of you an email and let you know what that is. Julie, if you would make a note for us, please. When we hear back from Sissy on that number, to forward that to the commissioner's place. So I can't tell you what that's about at this point.
okay.
Chris, was that the line that you had the question about, or
Yeah,
was it the
yeah.
other?
And I've yet to see the terms, or we as a commission have yet to see the terms of this loan. And in speaking with the mayor, he says, well, you should be able to provide us with that.
Julie, could you please make a note for that too, please?
Yes, I am right now.
Okay. I will gather up everything I can for you tomorrow on that, and we will scan it and email it to you.
Okay. Yeah, just interested in the duration of the loan.
Absolutely.
Installment pay, just like a car note, house note. What are the details?
Absolutely.
About this loan? Okay, thank you very much.
I will commit that as soon as we can get our hands on it, we will scan it and email it to you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's all. You answered the other questions there.
Okay. All right, the aging report, really nothing of note here other than, you see Julie's notes on here, and the ones that are on the no-no list we're pursuing. We still have one of these that has a lock and chain on it. Julie has actually spoken to them. They're aware of the situation. I'm not sure what they are, What's that?
or at least part of it in May, and I said, well, until the balance is caught up, the chain stays on.
So they did make a payment?
No, that May.
Oh, okay, okay.
So which one are you referring to?
Stanford? Yeah,
Yeah.
Jamie Stanford.
What's his,
Oh, gosh, she's
okay,
in.
Jamie Stanford.
First
okay.
page, 26804, about halfway down.
Okay, so his boat is in the marina.
It is in the harbor with a chain on it. Chained to our dock.
So,
Okay. Then,
all,
go ahead, Tom.
do all of these with the notes, and pay when they want to and stuff, are all those boats, vessels are in the harbor? You got them, like Daniel Walker's got one.
His boat is in the harbor.
And then there was one more, Michael Rendell.
Which one is it?
I think it's Michael Rendell, 4666. Or I could be off.
That's
on that.
page 3 towards the top. If you'll notice on some of these, she's got a note for lease violation, no registration. It may be no insurance. Julie's contacted all of those individuals. We sent out an email to every one of them. Some of them have responded positively and gotten us what we've needed.
Okay.
There are a few others that
Always will be.
yet to do that. We have put a time limit on their time to respond appropriately. And if they don't, then further actions will be taken.
That's all you can do.
You know, it clearly states in our lease agreement, as a condition of our lease, you have to provide us with a copy of your valid insurance and registration or Coast Guard documentation. We do our best not to allow a boat in the harbor until they have provided those to us. It's the new lease agreement, but every once in a while, one slips through the crack. So it's one of those things that I've brought to the attention of the other fellas down at the harbor. That is our policy, and you're not to allow a boat to be delivered to the slip without those things in place first.
Paperwork, yeah.
Because what it does is it ends up creating a nightmare for Julie to spend time and effort on chasing these documents down, and you see the response we get at times, which is sometimes no response at all. So,
And I started calling that list of people who they ignoring the emails. I started calling them today, and I've got.
Trying to remember, I don't know, is, on the insurance policy, is the harbor named as
Yes.
insured also?
yes.
So they gotta be on there.
Yeah, yeah, it has to state the harbor is additionally insured.
Thought that's what they had on it.
Yes. If you don't have any other questions on those, I will give you a couple of updates on some other things. We still have no indication of what FEMA is planning on doing at this point regarding those other repairs that need to be made. There was a meeting last week where some of this was discussed. There's really no update on that. FEMA moves at their own pace.
Yeah.
You know, so nothing I can really provide you of any additional update regarding that. As far as the parking lot goes, I know when the mayor was here, we discussed at our last meeting some of the plans moving forward with that. Really, the only update I can provide you at this point with that is, if y'all remember, I think it was mentioned that we were looking at possibly injecting foam in those void places to really just kind of bring everything back level and hopefully prevent the rapid pace of erosion that we have. That plan was discussed with Moffett and Nickel, and now there seems to be some question about whether that will really be as effective as we would like it to be for the amount that we will have to invest in that to be done. So that we did have the gentleman come down, take a look at what he was working with. actually began the process of putting metal plates over those core holes that we had drilled for the eventuality of pumping foam in there. But now I think it seems to be on hold with really the thought is this just pouring money in a hole? Literally, right? You know? Because if we move forward with what needs to be the eventual fix for this, which is the complete, you know, taking all of it out, filling it back in, new concrete, weep holes in the seawall like it's supposed to be fixed, then do we really need to spend $50,000 to $60,000 pumping foam in there to eventually tear it out and start over? So there's some question about that. You know, the biggest concern with pumping the foam in those was to alleviate the trip hazards and the sinking concrete on certain sidewalks. And you know, we've been going along this long with it. So can we wait another 6 months till we, you know, get the money for the complete repair? I know there's been some positive discussions. I don't know what the results of them are because I was not a part of the meetings with some state level people about acquiring some additional funding from the state level to help with this process. So that may be a positive, that this potentially 2.1 million, definitely probably at least $1.7 million fix won't have to be funded by harbor funds totally, or maybe even at all. But that's really all I've got for you on the parking lot situation at this point.
I saw some stuff online about that recently, about the phone. And I think it would make sense, you know, if you had, say, grass above it, where when it rained, it would saturate the dirt. You could have some bulging problems behind it. But you don't have that. You have like a roof, like we'd be in this room right here, with all the concrete. I don't think it would have that absorption. And if you put the foam in it, it would probably fill in those voids. It might work, you know.
I mean, the gentleman that does it says
It would work, huh?
it'll work. We can raise the sidewalks back up where they should be and level them out where there's some cracking and the trip hazard.
Because, I mean, other than that, you have to get a jackhammer, bust up all the concrete. That's a lot of stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's even some discussion right now of possibly let's not put the $60,000 into the foam thing with the eventuality of having to tear that back out, and address the areas where the problem is immediately. Like down there in the slip holder parking on the sidewalk right there, there's a big crack. There's a nice 4-inch difference. It's a trip hazard, so we've been spray painting it orange. Well, it's still a trip hazard. But now we're kind of reverting back to a previous conversation where the city Public Works Department can come down, cut that section of concrete out, remove that, put those asphalt marbles in there that's like on the south end,
Yeah.
which has held up pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Put those in there, bring it back level, and either reconcrete it or just leave the marbles. So there was a discussion Thursday down at the harbor about that.
Yeah, it seems like it's working pretty good on that side.
It is. It is. I mean, it's served the purpose for what we needed it for. But look, y'all know how things work. The can down the street scenario. But anyway.
Well, the big problem is no money.
Right.
So until you get the money,
Agreed.
I mean, the thing to do is you do it right. You do it what Moffett Nichols suggests in their reporting. You
And be done with
pay
it.
$2 million and you're done with it.
Be done with it.
And
right.
everything else is just
And
turn it
look, I
over.
understand in this scenario where, are we really solving it? Are we really, what's the point of putting 60 in it and having to dig the 60 back out? So it's just, things are slow. All right, well, we'll move to
Thank
the next topic, which is, I don't know if y'all haven't been down to the harbor in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We did a pretty large landscaping project on the south end.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I think so. We've gotten a lot of good positive feedback on it. We took out all that row of those big overgrown oleander bushes. We put in 3 new palm trees down there. The white fountain seagrass things, and probably a couple other things we're going to do down there. We planted some new smaller sable palms around the entrance right there, and then we mulched everything. So I think it was for what we put into it, we would have had to probably spend 3 times more than what we did if we had a landscape company do it. But we found a good source for the material, just had them dump it. We did all the work, and I think it improved that area down there nicely. Finished the painting project up at the harbor office. We went with sort of a lighter kind of powder blue. Looks real good. You can see that building now much clearer when you come in the entrance of the harbor. Really easy today. Aim for the blue building. So I can't really think of anything other than the water that we're still, chasing. There's really no other planned bigger things at this point. Just gearing up to get busy. So, any questions I can answer for
Do
you?
we have any FEMA reimbursements coming?
Not aware of any. We've got some more reimbursements coming from DMR for the fuel dock project. I had to submit a few more invoices for that. Nothing substantial. It's $15,000 that we've paid for that will be coming back into our harbor fund. But nothing.
Nothing big. Where are we with the contracts to do the repairs to the harbor?
Well, that's what we're waiting for, the okay to move forward from FEMA at what would be new revised FEMA reimbursement amounts.
Okay.
I don't, at this point, the contractor may say, I've got to rebid it.
Yeah,
We're too far outside the scope of
Yeah.
this window that I can feel certain that the materials are going to cost the same and all. So it may have to go back out for rebid at that point, which means 30-day advertisement period, another 30-day approval period, and which really we can't do the work at this point in the year anyway. So it'd be nice if we had an answer and then schedule and plan to have these repairs start during the off season again. But we're at that point, we'll be 4 years post Hurricane Zeta. So.
Anybody have any other questions for Sean?
No, sir, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome.
All right. Any old business? Anyone? New business? Accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
And I second it.
Motion by Elkins, seconded by Maselli. All in favor?
All
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Oh, I didn't hit the gavel. There you go.
right. You needed that.